What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Tank Be Choppin', and I'm coming at y'all with another haircut tutorial. So what we finna do on this cut is we just gonna do an undercut. I tried getting him to cut the top just to trim it a little bit, but he wasn't having it. He said, nah, Tank, I wanna leave all this hair on top. I just want you to fade the bottom. So first things first, as you can see, I'm clipping up all that hair, getting it out the way. That way I can start this undercut. Alright, so now that all the hair is out of the way, as you can see, I'm combing all that hair out at the bottom. I'm just combing it all out, that way it's gonna make it easier for me to run my clippers through. So I'm starting off with a number 2 blade on my Andes Supras. And as you can see, I'm coming up with that number 2 blade all the way to where the long hair meets the short hair. And I'm gonna do this all around the head, and that's basically just laying a foundation. I'm just debulking all the sides down, that way it's a lot easier for me to fade this up and, you know, make the finished product look good. I have seen some people, what they do is they just start with the bald guideline and fade up until it's faded. But for me, you know, this is how I've been doing his haircut, and this is how I tend to do a lot of my undercuts. I come up with the number 2 blade all the way to where that hair meets, and then I just go ahead and start my bald guideline. All right, so now that that's out the way, I got my absolute hitters. And as you can see, I'm setting in my bald guideline. So we're gonna do somewhat of a mid fade. We're gonna drop it in the back a little bit. So I'm going ahead and take off all this hair. We are gonna go over the sides with the shaver after this. But I'm just setting in a soft line. You know, if you've seen some of my videos, y'all see sometimes I come in with my trimmers facing the other way and I put in my line like I'm doing an edge up. Well, you know, sometimes it makes that line a little harder to take out. You know, you gotta do a lot of more detail work at the bottom of that fade. So this way, if you do it like this, it makes it a little easier to take out that bottom line. Sometimes you don't even need to use the trimmers to get it out. You can just use your zero gap clippers and it'll take that line out. So as y'all can see here, I got my Prodigy from Stylecraft, and we're just taking the sides down the skin. All right, so what we're gonna do here is, guys, we actually gonna be doing the fade down technique. I talked about it before in some of my videos. So yeah, that's what I'm actually gonna be doing here. So we started off with the number 2 blade, right? We did all the sides with the number 2 blade. So now that I'm using my absolute alphas from Stylecraft, I got my number 1 guard on there, but my lever is all the way open. And as you can see, I'm coming up right below, basically right below what I did with that 2 blade, and I'm flicking out, and I'm just gonna adjust that lever closed and come slightly below that every time. So as you can see, I closed my lever 2 notches, still my number 1 guard on there, and I'm coming up slightly below what I just did. So that's the good thing about this clipper, guys. Like, if y'all seen my review on it, it has notches on it, so that's really good. Y'all can see what notch you're on when you're doing it, and it makes fading a lot easier. So now, as you can see, I closed my lever all the way, and I'm coming up slightly below what I just did. So the bad thing about doing the fade down technique, guys, is there's really no guidelines. So you just gotta know not to go as high as you previously did, because then it's gonna leave dark spots and you will create a line. So that's what you do not wanna do when you do the fade down technique. You try to do as much, as least work as possible. Basically, you're trying to fade this in without leaving any lines in it. So as you can see, I am adjusting that blade, that lever, you know, doing some slight lever play, just making sure it all looked nice and even. And now I got my 1/16 guard or my 0 guard, depending on how you want to call it. I started with my clipper halfway open, so it was on the 3rd notch, and I was coming up right below what I just did. And I just closed that lever 1 notch, and I'm coming up right below that. And as you can see, I'm still adjusting that lever, basically doing some detail work within the fade. But I still think this is a good method and a good, you know, it's a good method to use when you don't want to take that fade too high, or if you're scared to take that fade too high, or if you don't want to put any guidelines in it. You know, a lot of times you'll hear people say it's easier to fade without putting any lines in the fade. So this technique helps alleviate all them stresses from putting lines in. So like I said, guys, y'all can see me just doing some lever play, making sure this looks nice. Adjusting that lever as needed, taking care of them dark spots. And now that that is done, I got my clipper with no guard on there, but my lever is all the way open. And I'm coming up right below what I previously did. So basically it's coming up about 3/4 of an inch, maybe half an inch, and I'm flicking out. That way I don't create any lines in this fade. Now I close my lever 2 notches. So now I'm on the 3rd notch, right in the middle, and I'm just flicking out, trying to attack that bottom line, not coming as high as I previously did. And now my lever is closed all the way, and I'm just flicking at that bottom line. So for some people, this technique might be easier. For some people, it might be harder. I can do either one. You know, this I can fade down. You know, I can use this fade down technique or fade up. Sometimes I do a mixture of both within the haircut. But you just got to do what works best for you guys. And I know I'd been talking about the fade technique a lot, and I hadn't done an actual tutorial on how to do it. So I said, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and do it. So yeah, this is for the people who asking me what the fade down technique is, or for the people asking with help on how not to take their fades too high. This will help you from taking your fades too high. So as you can see, guys, I'm just tapping at that bottom line with my trimmers. And this is going, for the most part, take out that whole line. It's going to give this fade a nice finished look. But y'all know I'm going to go back in and detail it a little more because I got to take my haircuts to that next level. So when it comes to detailing, guys, you really just want to attack the dark spots. If you don't see anything wrong with it, you don't need to touch it. But if you see a dark area in the fade that you want to just tap a little bit, then go ahead and do so. You are going to need to learn how to adjust your lever as needed. And you're just going to need to learn basically what your clippers do, what guards cut what hair, and how the hair looks when the guard, and how the hair looks when it's cut with that guard. That way you know basically what needs to be done for the detailing portion of the haircut. So now I got my number 1 guard on there again. I'm just doing some more detail work, making this blend look nice. And now we're just lining up that C cup. So if you've been following my videos for a while, guys, you know I tend to do the whole edge up first. And I start off in the middle and then I work my way over to whatever side of the fade that I'm doing. But for some reason, I decided just to do the C cup on this haircut. And then I'm gonna do the front line up at the very end. All right, so now we're gonna move on to the opposite side and we're gonna do the same exact steps that we previously did. So this is my number 1 guard. Lever is all the way open and I'm coming up right to basically almost right where I did with the 2 blade. I'm flicking out and I'm adjusting that lever closed, making sure I'm not coming up as high as I did previously. Remember, guys, if y'all have any questions about any tools that I use, feel free to make some noise in that comment section. Just drop a comment, drop a question, whatever. I'll get back to it as soon as I can. I always try to respond in a timely manner. So yeah, just leave me a comment if you have any questions, concerns, recommendations, anything. If you just want to say good job, Tank, whatever, y'all just leave a comment and I'm gonna get back to it as soon as I can. I appreciate y'all. So any of these tools y'all see me use in this video, guys, I have the link in my description. If it is a Stylecraft or a Gamma tool, you can actually go straight to their website. The link is also going to be in my description. But you can go straight to their website and you can use my code TANK10 on any of their products and you'll get a small discount. But if it's not a Gamma or Stylecraft tool, you can still click on the links in my description. And yeah, I got them in my description, guys. So if y'all want to purchase anything, y'all feel free and y'all do so. All right, so as you can see, I took care of the left side of the haircut, I took care of the right side of the haircut, and now I'm taking care of the back. So we did do a slight drop in the back, so we want to make sure it ties all in. So yeah, basically I'm just showing y'all what I'm doing. I'm still following the same steps. I started with my number 1 guard all the way open, and I just worked my way down all the way until my clipper closed. Remember, guys, if you haven't done so, please like this video. Also, if you haven't done so, please subscribe one time for your boy. I'd greatly appreciate it. Y'all go check out my videos, man. I got a bunch of videos on deck. Like I stay trying to record videos. And if you ain't doing so, make sure to follow me on Instagram. My Instagram is @tank_B_chopping. And yeah, guys, I appreciate y'all for rocking with your boy. It really means a lot to me. And yeah, guys, I'm going to continue to try to put out as much content as I possibly can. I still got some other videos recorded that I haven't dropped yet. I'm going to be continue to record almost every day. I'm gonna try to come out with so much content, man. It's crazy. I know some weeks I do 2 videos. I try to shoot for 3, but towards the end of the week I get really busy at the shop, so I really can't, do a lot of editing or voiceovers. But I'm gonna try to shoot for 3 this week, guys. So this is gonna be my first one this week. So I hope y'all enjoying it so far. All right, so now I got my number 1 guard. My lever is all the way open, and I'm just debulking that front of the hairline a little bit, coming with the grain, and then I'm just gonna start on his lineup. I started in the middle, made my first initial guideline, and then I just worked my way over both sides and just basically just tried making this line as straight as I possibly could. And as you can see on those vertical bars, we're trying not to push those back. We want them to look sharp, but we do not want to push those things back. So now we're gonna finish off with some slight razor work. So as you can see, I'm just going over everything I did with my trimmers, making sure all these lines is nice and sharp. All right, guys, so check it out. This is the end result of that haircut. This is just him with his hair still up. I left it up for this part of the video. Y'all check out that fade though. I think it's blurry. Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comment section. Y'all let me know if y'all like it or not. And then this is his hair down. I just wanted to show y'all how it looked both ways. Remember, guys, I tried getting him to trim the top, but he didn't want me to. But anyways, YouTube, I appreciate y'all for watching. Until next time, let's go.